Okay, one last KOTOR topic. I promise this is the last one for this set, and it's whether or not Darth Revan, the protagonist of the KOTOR games, is canon in the Star Wars universe. It seems like this character, more than any other character in the EU and Legends, has been wanted to be made canon by fans the most. That makes sense. It seems that this character has been wanted to be canonized the most by the fan base, by the EU, or from the EU and from Legends. And for the longest time, it was kind of wishy-washy on whether or not Lucasfilm, when they wiped everything from the canon and they said, all right, it's just going to be these films and these books and everything on forward, whether or not they kept KOTOR or they were going to keep KOTOR in the future. And for the longest time, it seems like, well, it's just, they wiped it. Darth Revan's not canon. Darth Revan's not in the books that they put out. They're not in the list that they're not in the list that they put on their website. But every now and then when we get these hints and secrets and these drops that, well, maybe he is canon. And I think one of the first, well, just to lay it to rest for now, it seems that at least the name Revan is canon. Because in The Rise of Skywalker, the legions of troopers, I can't remember if it was just the Sith troopers or just any of the, introduces legions of Sith troopers. One of the legions was the 3rd Revan Legion. So a lot of people I talk to will say, well, see, Darth Revan's now canon, they used his name. This officially confirms Darth Revan as canon in Star Wars. As much as I want this to be a thing, I have to reserve myself and just say, okay, well, all this tells me is the name Revan is a name of a Sith Lord of a Darth in the Star Wars universe. That's all that I see here, is that the name Darth Revan is canon in Star Wars, and that he was a Sith Lord because the legions are named after Sith Lords. That being said, do I think Disney would go through all the trouble to make Darth Revan's name canon and then not take anything else about him, his story, who he is? Would they keep that when they canonize his name? I don't think they would. I don't think they would do something like that, but there's nothing saying that they can't just take his name, canonize it, and then do whatever they want with the character. Because I was talking before, if we ever saw a movie of KOTOR, my guess is that they would change something about this character to bring back the mystery. That could be really good, that could be really bad. It could go either way. Now, as far as like what he looks like and what he did, it seems that for the most part, Disney wants to keep his story and who he is intact from the games because he is in the app, that Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes game, and his Jedi variant and his Darth variant are in the game. And they do, the event you use to unlock him does follow the events of the game, does use the same characters as the game. Now, just because they're in that game doesn't mean they're canon, but Star Wars, especially Lucasfilm, have been very uptight about what does and does not appear in their video games. If you remember Battlefront 2, they were very in particular in what skins were made into the game and what shows up, because they wanted to preserve some sort of what do they call it? Preserve some sort of they wanted to have that control over what is brought into the universe and what isn't. The fact that he's in this game doesn't mean that he's canon, but it shows that Lucasfilm is willing to use those games in the games that they make. They're willing to take from the KOTOR games and use that material in their own games. But as far as what's officially canon, unless that game does make him canon in some sort of way, as far as I can see, is the name Revan and that he was a Darth is all that has been made canon. So anything about Bastila, anything about the Mandalorian Wars. Actually, no, I take that back. We've gotten a lot of hints towards the Mandalorian Wars and the Mandalorian and other stuff like that. So, like I said, we see all these Easter eggs. It's very unlikely that they'll just use the name and then write their own story and wipe most of what we know about this character. But as far as what's officially canon, I know I'm repeating myself here. All I can see so far is his name is canon. The Mandalorian Wars, or the conflict with the Ancient Jedi, is canon. And we did almost get, I think the closest we got to him being canon was that Clone Wars episode that Dave Filoni talked about, where he almost showed up, but then it was cut at the last minute. I think that's the closest we've been to Darth Revan becoming canon, other than this name drop in The Rise of Skywalker. Before I repeat myself again, I'll leave that alone. I just think we have a little bit more to go if we want Darth Revan to be officially canon and everything that Darth Revan entails. I don't mean to put a damper on things. I really like Darth Revan. He's, I think, one of my favorite characters. But I try to keep myself realistic in what Disney will do with their stuff, because it kind of seems like, unless it's officially been put out by Disney/Lucasfilm, it's subject to what they think it's going to be. Anyway, that's it for that.